and now today I'm showing you how to create and deploy an application on AWS DevOps. So we can open the browser and open the awsamazon.com. Now we search for the DevOps. So you can see that these are the features of the AWS DevOps for get started fast, fully managed services built for scale, programmable, automation, secure, and large partner ecosystem. So DevOps is not a framework or software; it's a method of working which you can add some your colleagues from your organization and develop and deploy the application. So it's an AWS service and Azure as well. They give these kind of services. So the pay as you go, the large partner ecosystem, the secure and the automation. These are the Azure features, sorry, AWS DevOps features. So there are some tools in AWS for DevOps. So AWS Code Pipeline is used for continuous integration and continuous delivery services for fast and reliable application infrastructure updates. So you can build your apps, code, and test it and deploy your code every time when it's changed. So it's fast process. So AWS code build for your compile the application, compile your source code and test it automatically. So you don't need to test your application time after time. You can put the manual test code and you can create an automation as well. So that we are doing a deploy an application on AWS CodeDeploy. It's an automation deployment. AWS CodeDeploy automates deployments to of any instance in EC2 on-premises servers and as well as the serverless in Lambda and the code services AWS CodeStar. It enables you to quickly develop, build, and deploy application on AWS. Uh, it's for continuous delivery tool chain. It's for uh, less downtime to deploy an application. These are the main four uh, services which use tools in use in AWS in DevOps, and these are the microservices. This I call the serverless computing for AWS Lambda and container services like Docker and Kubernetes and infrastructure. These are lots of services included in this thing, but now we are just doing the deploy an application on AWS. So first we need to sign in to the console. Before we're going in that, we need to first create a key pair. So we already have a key pair. Now I'm creating another key pair. So RHUL. I have to so I create another key pair for my instance. So the PEM file is created. Now I can store it on my desktop. This is using to accessing your EC2 instances. After that, so now I'm going to which services you are using. It's developer tools. So CodeStar, Code Commit, Code Build, Code Deploy, and Code Pipeline are using in DevOps. So now we are deploying the code deploy services for getting started now. So there are the we can see that there are the two getting started services: the sample document for the new users and custom deployment. Sample deployment for the new users and custom deployment for the expert users. So we can see first we can see the custom deployment. So you can put your application name on premises and AWS Lambda for serverless and deployment group in placement for the basic services, and blue and green deployment is using for the auto scaling groups. You can put the and we need to use definitely use the auto scaling group and the load balancers. For the next we need to we included the auto scaling group and EC2 instances for key and value. Key and values are these are the tag values using for EC2 instance. You need to fetch the information of EC2 instance during the deployment and on-premises instances. So we have matching instances. The load balancer we can implement it. Now we have the different types of deployment configuration. You can deploy your application on all the servers, on half of the servers, and at a time, one at a time as a server. So there are different roles. You go to the advanced settings. You want to create the triggers and alarms. For triggers, you can create a trigger when some event happen or some. Then it's create the trigger. Then it's start the when you create the trigger, it's start the deployment or something. Uh, so now for the alarms, you can create an alarm. You can put the rollback. Suppose you can deploy a faulty application, so you roll back it on the users. And for the web deployment, there are different roles in AWS. So there are the because there are there because the method of working. So everyone has a different role. So there are some basic roles for a role for administrator, EC2 service. You can service role. You can implement your code. You can import the code from the DevOps and create some changes and add some features and upload it to the DevOps again. And you can test it, build your code, and you can test over there. Put the so there are AWS service role for auto scaling, for RDS, for role support, and all. So we are not using it because they are for expert users. So we are just back it out and we are starting the simple application for sample deployment. So next, blue and green, I told you for auto scaling and load balancing. You can see that if you want to. So you can create the application name, deployment, auto scaling. We need to use it these things and the key pair and service role name. So we are don't do these things. We are using the in place deployment. So we have some basic services over here. So I create two different key pairs that I told you earlier. So I put my second key pair and you can use the operating system on Linux or Windows server. So tag key and values are using for fetching the details of EC2 instance while code while deployment doing the deployment. Now I'm launching the instances, so it will take some time. So I skip this thing. Now you can see that the intents. Now you can see that the instances are ready, so we can move on. So this is our. We can take the default name as a demo application. You can give your own name. So I go to the next. You can download the sample bundle of your code, and you can. So this is a revision. AWS revision the cloud is a versioning system. So I put the next. So this is the deployment group name. So that we can we can put it take the default. So this is the tags as I say. Then we simply go to the next. We have 9 instances behind that T2 because I created before that. That's why. So we have different service roles. So use an existing service role or create a new service role. So I create a new service role. So code deploy and code demo application. Click over here, then hit next. So here your default deployment configuration, we can use it one at a time, half at a time, and all at once. So deploys one instance at a time succeeded if all the instances succeed. If one instance is failed, the all deployments is failed. Half at a time deploy the half of the instances at a time with the fractions rounded down. and all at a once deploys all the instances at once succeeded if at least one instance succeeds. Fails after all instances are failed. So this is the ideal situation, but we go with the default configuration and hit next. So you can review your deployment details, application revision, deployment group, service role, and deployment configuration. So I just deploy my application. You can download your deployment application files from the this links from S3 bucket. Now my application is deployed, so it's created. It's taking time installing application on my 6 instances. I can see my instances over here. So these are the instances. Everyone is running behind that. So I go to the deployment. So it will take some time. So I can skip that thing. Now you can see that my deployment process it's complete. So I can go to the deployment ID. So you can see that deployment succeed. So my all the instances are deployed. So how can I access my application? So go one of the instances. You can see that it's deployed perfectly. So I can use the DNS name. You can directly put into the browser and we can see our application. So now you can see that our sample deployment is completed. So this is how you can deploy your application on AWS CodeDeploy. Thank you very much for watching us. Please subscribe.